anything short of that, I forget the I've got to support Tinubu. Going forward now, we will not sit back and allow you because our more identity will not talk anything we. Our Tinubu said, our God let come be lower Tinubu and Tinubu because Tinubu called over. How can we sit back and allow this man that nobody knows his true identity to now keep our own true identity in Nigeria? That must stop. Nothing can stop the actualization of an independent Yoruba country. And that is going to come in very limited time as we have been working under the leadership of Professor Adebanji Akintoye and all the team. Many of you are worried, but there's nothing to be worried about. There's nothing to be concerned. We must hold on our spirit, the spirit of the determination that the breakup of Nigeria is going to happen. We are praying and we are also working. And as many of us that are asking many questions all the time, what is happening? What is the delay? It is because your body is not yet prepared for the independence of an independent Yoruba country. Agbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kí body wa máa prepare for the exit rather than allowing our body to tell us that kò tí possible. Yoruba ti lọ. Because when the British came, we were not asked whether we want to remain one. When we are going to leave Nigeria, Bola Tinubu will not be able to stop it. It is beyond his strength. Akpabio, the Senate president, will not be able to stop the breakup of Nigeria. It is far beyond the strength. The whole of the Senate, the Nigerian military will not be able to stop it. The Navy, all your 6 governors, or should I say, as many of you think that Kwara and Kogi is not one of us. Ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara is going out of Nigeria. Kogi is opting out as well. So do not be worried, do not be concerned. Whether I am live or not is not the issue. The issue is that 60 million Yoruba people have spoken and they have made their mind. They are terrible people, we don't want to live with them. But we want to live with them when we have a country that we can determine how they will live with us under the rules of our own country. Just like Igbo people will go and live in Germany, and they understand that when you go to Germany, the same thing goes with the outside. We cannot have other relationship with the Fulanis. All the countries are defending their borders. All the other countries around the world are protecting their own citizens against those that want to take away them from their own independent nationality. The white people are now becoming more concerned. As I speak to you this particular day, Nigerians are now being deported from the Republic of Ireland. On April 25th, or thereabout, 45 Nigerians were deported from the UK. We will deport the Igbos that do not want to live with us in our independent country. But those that want to live with us, we will allow them to live under the Constitution. We will deport the Hausa that doesn't want to understand that the game is no longer in Nigeria. We will deport whoever we want to deport. But let me remind all the Yorubas that your spirit, your body, your mind should now remain as an independent citizen of a Yoruba country. It is not just about the rally. The actual end result is that Babakitoye must and have every right to depend on the 60 million and go ahead and declare a Yoruba country in no time. Rather than 2027, there will be a lot of destruction and chaos. I have said it. All those governors and politicians do not have the strength. But what fẹ́ mọ̀ náà di abájọ ni, wọ́n fẹ́ mọ̀ di abájọ ni, àìmọ̀ di abájọ ló ń bí wọn ní bí wọn nínú ló fọ́ wọn lórí. Wọ́n fẹ́ mọ̀ bí tí bàbá Akíntóyè àti Ìgbòho fẹ́ gbà kọjá. Wọ́n fẹ́ mọ̀ bí tẹ́yìn ọmọ Yorùbá fẹ́ gbà tí Yorùbá máa fi di independent country. Òyìnbó gan wà worried. They are preparing a lot of contingency. I can assure you that America is going to leave Nigeria very soon. They're working quietly. You might not know, but I'm telling you. They will evacuate quietly before you know, you realize that empty building, all the countries around the world are preparing for the breakup of Nigeria and preparing for the nations that will take up. When Baba Akintoye give us the go-ahead to go out on the street, there will be what they call defiance. We will not allow anybody within the Yoruba land to tell us to do this. So do not be worried. I see very program. Olayomi Koiki. Koiki Media. èdè ní 7th tí a mọ̀ sí ọjọ́ keje oṣù kẹfà 2025. As of our governors, it becomes very late when we have come out. But táì tí jáde nísìn, they have that bit of room. Kọ́pẹ́ Baba Akintoye. One thing they are trying to tell us is that we are cowards and they are also waiting. Ìdàmáṣe. Wọ́n ti ní tíyàn máa ṣe inú okun ẹ̀ ló wà. Èmi lè mọ̀ ní pé kókó tèmi sínú okun. Èyí tẹ́ pé mi pé Koiki má sọ̀rọ̀ síta. Mo sọ fún wọn pé there will be chaos, there will be destruction. I am saying it. Borrowed our land and has misused it for the last 110 years. Ní Nàìjíríà tí ó ti lo ìlú wa nílòkulò. Kò lò nílò kó ṣàǹfààní fọ́mọ Yorùbá. Ó lò nílò ìbànújẹ́ àti òfò àti gbogbo tí a lè sọ pé a lè tọ́ka pọ́ ọmọlúàbí ni wá mọ́. Ibi tó lo Nàìjíríà lé wa lórí nìyẹn. Ṣèbí yẹn ló ń jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ Yíbò lè máa sọ̀rọ̀ sí wa ṣàkàṣàkà tó tún sọ fún wa pé àwọn làwọn ní Ilé-Ifẹ̀. Èbí yẹn ló ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ sí wa ṣàkàṣàkà títí dé Lagos àti gbogbo ilẹ̀ wa. Ìyẹn náà làwọn Haúsá náà ṣe ń ṣe ṣàkàṣàkà lórí ilẹ̀ wa látara pé gbogbo kìíní àti ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan tí a fi ń sọ pé identity wa kò sí nínú Nàìjíríà àfi tá a bá gbára wa síta tá a dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí independent country. But tí bá wá wo àwọn tí wọ́n ń pera wọn ní nǹkan yìí, mò ń rí Ọ̀tẹ́dọ́lá. Ṣé tí wàhálà bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní sí ṣé Ọ̀tẹ́dọ́lá lè dúró sínú Nàìjíríà? Ìbéèrè ni mò ń bi wọ́n. Ṣé tí wàhálà yẹn bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní sí ṣé Ọ̀tẹ́dọ́lá ṣó lè dúró sínú Nàìjíríà? Ṣé Dangote lè dúró sínú Nàìjíríà? Ṣé Dangote lè kàwá mú? Ṣó lè dá wa? Ṣé Dangote bó ṣe lówó tó tí gbogbo 60 million bá dìde ṣé ó lè pin wa mọ́lẹ̀? Ṣé Bill Gates lè dá Yorùbá nation dúró? Ṣé Tinubu lè dá Yorùbá? Wọ́n lè dá dúró. But in tó máa end up ni ó máa di blood, ẹ̀jẹ̀ máa ta sílẹ̀ gan, but Yorùbá ṣì máa lọ. While Baba Akintoye is trying to avoid the bloodshed, I know that in my body. Mo mọ̀ pé Baba Akintoye fẹ́ avoid pé kó má di ìtàjẹ̀sílẹ̀ torí pé ìtàjẹ̀sílẹ̀ kò ní mú nǹkan tó dá wá. Àmọ́ in tó máa bí òun ni Yorùbá Kingdom, Odùduwà Republic. Ṣé àwọn ọba, kí má dárúkọ torí mo wà very careful pẹ̀lú àwọn ọba wa, ṣé àwọn ọba lè dá Yorùbá nation dúró? Wọ́n lè dá dúró. Then kí ló wá ń fà á tí wọ́n fẹ́ make sure pé àwọn fẹ́ protect Nàìjíríà lórí àwa? I have sat down many times and think about it. Pé why tí a ṣe láti wọnú situation tí gbogbo ẹ̀ máa di chaos ká tó exit. Kí ló dé tí a lè jókòó within the region tó ń pè ní Southwest, àtẹni tó agree pẹ̀lú wa àtàwọn tó agree àti àwọn tó ń ṣe Afẹ́nifẹ́re, kí gbogbo wa ká dẹ̀ sọ pé independent Yorùbá country kó dẹ̀ make a declaration kí gbogbo wa dẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí build the country yẹn. But kò ní ever rí bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Àfi táwa kan bá sọ fún wọn pé enough is enough. Enough is enough yẹn làwọn fẹ́ mọ bí tí enough yẹn máa gbà jáde. Ọ̀rọ̀ Fúlàní pa wá kọ́ lọ́rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí mọ́. Ẹni tó bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ Fúlàní pa wá, wọ́n jí wa gbé, ìyẹn lẹ gbé dání. Ọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ Yíbò fẹ́ gbalẹ̀ mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ kọ́ ló wà nílẹ̀. Ọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo tó bá gbà lẹ́mìí wa pé bí Yorùbá ṣe máa dá dúró òun ló yẹ kó wà níwájú wa. Anything short of that kò lè mú kankan jáde. Kò sí news tẹ́ fẹ́ report lára Nàìjíríà tó máa mú àtúnṣe wá. Tabakon report àwọn news yẹn àtàwọn tó ń sọ náà, mo kàn fi pé bóyá wọ́n kàn fi ń gbé jáde pé ká lè rí ká lè mọ̀ ni. Bá report any news nínú Nàìjíríà for another 30 years kò ní mú any ìdàgbàsókè kankan wá. Torí pé nǹkan kan tí kò fi ní mú wá ni pé identity wa ó ti wà embedded nínú Nàìjíríà. Intade fi lè yọra wa síta nísìnyí pé ká pull out, ká lè rí identity yẹn, ká lè fi wá máa fi ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tó ń wá ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Yorùbá. But a ti wá rí pé bí bàbá wa àṣà bàbá yẹn ní ta bá ń dúró de pé ká unite ká tó lọ à ń tọra wa àlọ́bì kankan ta bá ní a fẹ́ unite gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátá pé lágbàtà bá ti wá ṣe unity tán ká wá tẹ̀síwájú kò ń ṣe pé nǹkan máa bàjẹ́ nǹkan ti bàjẹ́ already ẹni tó bá ní nǹkan ìtì bàjẹ́ níbi ta délé ní after 110 years because a lè máa mú Nàìjíríà láti independent a gbọ́dọ̀ mú láti 1914 that means pé a ti gbé pẹ̀lú ra wa for 110 years kò dẹ̀ tí sí ìtàn pè ní identity wa tí wọ́n respect lórí ilẹ̀ wa àwa náà lè má respect identity wọn lórí ilẹ̀ tí wọn pọ̀ lórí ilẹ̀ tí a mọ̀ pé àwọn kan ló jà fún títí ta fi lè máa sọ nísìn pé the Yoruba people mo bá fídíò kan pàdé tí bàbá wa professor tí wọ́n ṣe pẹ̀lú brother mi Ọmọlúkà 4 years ago ó kàn pọ́pọ̀ máa extract ẹ̀ jáde nísìn nígbà tí mo wá tún fídíò yẹn gbọ́ mo wá realize pé táwọn kan bá ní kò ní tí ì ṣe é ṣe nísìn ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe sùúrù díẹ̀ sí ẹ má ẹ̀ka ìtí lọ ẹ jẹ́ ká get it right is a delay tactics just to keep Nigeria alive in tó lè mú kí Nàìjíríà kó lọ sílẹ̀ lálẹ́ òun ni pé tí bàbá Akíntóyè bá jáde kó declare Yorùbá nation tí Nàìjíríà bá ti di pé a gbọ́ Nàìjíríà mọ́ létí wa tí à ń gbọ́ pé Yorùbá independent country ló wà lórí ilẹ̀ wa then the game has changed but bàbá ń lọ ní ètò gẹ́gẹ́ bí Ọlọ́run ṣe fún wọn ní làákàyè wọ́n tò ètò yẹn láti 5 years and the 5 years has been fantastic and nobody can ever say that bàbá yóò tí gbé Yorùbá débi tó yẹ kó dé but àwọn tí à ń rò kó yá wọn máa wá fọwọ́ kún bàbá wọn ò ní fọwọ́ kún bàbá ọmọ Yorùbá tó yẹ kó fọwọ́ kún bàbá pé kí iṣẹ́ yẹn lè tètè yá òun náà ni president Tinubu but Tinubu already mo kí mọ́ sí mi dáadáa ẹ má bínú pé mo ṣe pàṣá níbẹ̀ yẹn torí pé tí ìyá Yorùbá tó bá pé ìyá yìí nígbà tí ó bí mi ó discharge mi pé ẹjù sínú ẹjù nù torí àti ráwọn ọmọ tó ń bí nísìn ní Ìbàdàn ní last month ọmọ kékeré wọ́n bí wọ́n jù nù tó bá pé ìyá ìbí mi náà nígbà tó bí mi ní May 31st 1978 o lè má mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ 47 years old àgbà ti dé èmi náà ṣe ọmọ kékeré mọ̀ I was born in 1978 so wọ́n expect mi pé kí n gbọ́ sí àwọn tó wà lókè àwọn tí wọ́n wà lókè tó ń pè àwọn ní governor tí wọ́n mọ̀ pé ọmọ 47 years old àti 60 àti bàbá 90 àwa mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta yẹn bàbá wa ń bá gbogbo wa sọ̀rọ̀ bàbá ṣé gbogbo wọn ta ló ju bàbá Akíntóyè lọ nínú gbogbo àwọn tá à ń sọ yìí ṣé Tinubu ju bàbá Akíntóyè lọ ẹ wo Tinubu bó ṣe rí nísìn ó lè dára ẹgbẹ́ ìjà máa ṣẹlẹ̀ gidi gan ẹ tó bá ní kò ní sí ìjà wọn mọ̀ kí wọ́n sí mi ò fẹ́ gbọ́rọ̀ yìí ìjà máa ṣẹlẹ̀ gidi in tí kò fi ní sí ìjà òun ni pé àwa 60 million ta accept pa fẹ́ lọ kárẹ́dì láti defend ẹ̀ tí bàbá Akíntóyè bá ti fún wa ní all go and the green light a máa defend ẹ̀ ní gbogbo corners ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pátápátá kódà bí ọmọ Ìgbò bá ṣe mẹ́kẹ́mẹ́kẹ́ a fún wọn ní ultimatum kó padà sílùú wọn torí orí ilẹ̀ wa láṣẹ wà a ní right láti ṣe gbogbo tó bá wù wá in the first stage of preparing to get independent country tá bá gbà tán businesses wọn á wà níbi tó wà nígbà tí wọ́n ja Biafra wọ̀ gan wọ́n ní gbogbo lé èmi gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ èmi ò mọ ọ ẹ̀ tí bí mi nígbà yẹn but a gbọ́ pé gbogbo businesses wọn ilé wọn a bá wọn tọ́jú ẹ̀. Ọmọ Igbo ní right lórí ilẹ̀ wa kó sọ fún wa pé interface ṣe yìí àwọn wà against it. Wọ́n ní right láti evacuate lọ sílùú wọn. A máa fún àwọn èèyàn opportunity pé border ló ṣí yẹn ẹ máa gbàbẹ̀ kọjá àní tọ́ọ̀chì yín, but ẹni tó bá wà against it tó ń ṣe ọmọ Yorùbá lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ a béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ pé kí ló dé, kí ló fà á. Òun ni gbogbo béèrè tá a ṣe ń béèrè yìí jẹ́ mọ̀ pé a ṣe ń béèrè béèrè nísìnyí à ń bira wa láwọn béèrè. Sanwó-Olú why tó fẹ́ Yorùbá nation, ṣèbọn ọmọ Yorùbá ni ẹ́ a ní ọmọ Yorùbá lòun a ní òun fẹ́ Nàìjíríà, ok. Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún kí ló dé tó fẹ́ Yorùbá nation, a ní òun fẹ́ Nàìjíríà, ká sì ṣe Nàìjíríà ó dáa. Now that means pé àwa àti àwọn tí wọ́n náà fẹ́ Yorùbá nation a máa bára wa jà. Ẹ lọ kọ̀ yẹn sílẹ̀, ẹ lọ kọ̀ yẹn sílẹ̀. Ṣẹ̀rá àwa àtàwọn tó náà fẹ́ Yorùbá nation yẹn a máa bára wa mú kan lẹ̀. Ṣẹ̀wárí táwa méjèèjì yẹn bá ti jọ mú kan nílẹ̀, ṣẹ̀wárí àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù àwọn máa wá sit back pé lóòótọ́ àwọn tó náà fẹ́ Yorùbá nation yìí kò ń ṣe tẹnu. Bọ̀ bàbá kí tó yóò tí fẹ́ kí ó dé stage pé àwa àtàwọn yẹn máa bára wa jà. Àwọn tí mo dárúkọ yìí, ìyẹn ni bàbá yẹn ṣe ń fún wọn ní as many reasons pé ẹ má jẹ́ kí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí di ọ̀rọ̀ in tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ rí, because kò ń ṣe Nàìjíríà nìkan ti kọ́kọ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ pé on break, and Nigeria will not be the last country. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, it is not possible to wait for unity before asking for Yoruba nation. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. If anybody is waiting that we have unity, Kimba, Yoruba, ṣáwọn Adéyínká grandson, Yoruba conservative, Yoruba Arewa, àbí Yoruba Afẹ́nifẹ́re rather. Àwọn yẹn tẹ́ ń sọ pé àwọn kan impeach Tinubu. Instead kọ dá orúkọ mọ́ wa, wọ́n ní kọ́ impeach Tinubu. Èmi ọmọ bí wọ́n ti máa impeach Tinubu. And many others like that. Kódà àwọn tó wà against mi àti bàbá Kítóyè wọ́n wò mí báyìí nísìn wọ́n mọ step tó máa gbé tó kù, but wọ́n mọ step táwa fẹ́ gbé, but wọ́n fẹ́ béèrè pé báwo la ṣe gbé tó máa fi di independent country. I have had their audio yín máa ń dọ́dọ̀ mi lóòótọ́, but I'm not going to respond to it because any fact Koiki ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ sọ fún Koiki DSS kìíní kan, ṣé ta bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ gbàsàgbàsà ṣé DSS lè kó gbogbo wa? Ṣé wọ́n lè kó gbogbo 60 million Yorùbá sínú barracks? Tí bàbá Kítóyè bá ní ká jáde láàárọ̀ láníṣe kó di woro sí woro bí àṣà àrà ó lé tẹ́ntẹ́ kó di fàájá, ṣé wọ́n lè kó gbogbo wa kọ́kọ́ gbogbo wa nísìn pé ó yá ẹ ráp gbogbo wọn up àti Koiki ẹ lọ jù wọ́n sínú prison bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe gbé Nnamdi Kanu sínú prison? No, ibo ló máa gbà kọjá? Ṣé wọ́n kàn máa kó gbogbo 60 million wọ́n máa kó wa lọ sí north ni wọ́n lọ tì wá sínú prison? So ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ̀ tí mọ̀ pé freedom ìyàn fẹ́ jà fún ni òun lẹ ṣe ń sọ ṣẹ́rẹ́ tó bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ ọlọ́pàá àti DSS nínú movement yìí tí mọ̀ pé fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation. Tàbá ṣì ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé ọlọ́pàá fẹ́ mú mi DSS máa gbé wa ṣẹ́rí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ tó lọ ń bọ́ọ̀sì yẹn torí pé àìtí give order àti go ahead ni. Tó bá give go ahead nísìn ní state kọ̀ọ̀kan DSS ọlọ́pàá àti sójà wọn ní lè ṣe kankan lórí state yẹn, but torí pé wọ́n fi strategic àtọgbọ́n àtòye tọ́lọ̀ fún Yorùbá torí wọ́n ever defeat wa rí lórí ilẹ̀ wa. Kódà nígbà tí ojúkú ń bọ̀ tó dé ọ̀rẹ́ wọ́n fi wọ́n pé ọmọ ọkọ Yorùbá ni wá. Lóòótọ́ àwọn kan máa ń pè mí Koiki fi ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn Biafra sílẹ̀, mo ní mo lè fi wọ́n sílẹ̀, mo sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀yìn yá wa. Torí tẹ bá ní ká fi Biafra sílẹ̀, àwọn tó wà honest wà nú wọn tó fẹ́ lọ, ẹ jẹ́ ká push wọn kó lọ. Ṣẹ̀wárí àwọn tó kù tán láwọn ní lọ yẹn, àwọn yẹn gangan ni obstacle tó wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá nísìn, àwọn yẹn la fẹ́ dí pẹ̀lú, gbogbo àwọn Ìgbò yẹn la máa dí pẹ̀lú. But ẹ bá ń sọ pé ká fi Biafra sílẹ̀, that means pé ẹ fẹ́ jẹ́ kí energy tó wà láàrin Yorùbá àti Biafra ká fi fọ́ Nàìjíríà nìyẹn, ẹ fẹ́ delay movement nìyẹn. Mo sorry, ẹ fẹ́ delay ìrìn àjò yìí because àwọn ṣé ẹ máa sọ fún mi nísìn pé torí pé àwọn Ìgbò wọ́n ń ṣe báṣabàṣa ní Lagos State, ní Ondo, ní Ogun State, ẹ wá torí ẹ̀ sọ pé kọ́ máa fẹ́ Biafra fáwọn tó fẹ́ Biafra. Ẹ jẹ́ kó fẹ́ Biafra wọn, ẹ jẹ́ káwọn máa laná lókè, káwa náà máa ṣe kí ni ká máa laná nísàlẹ̀. But ẹ bá ń sọ pé torí pé a fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation, má máa sọ̀rọ̀ Nnamdi Kanu, má máa sọ̀rọ̀ Simon Ekpa, torí bọ́ ṣe mú Simon Ekpa, torí bọ́ ṣe mú Nnamdi Kanu, torí pé ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ò tí ì débi tó yẹ kó dé ni. Ṣé mọ̀ pé Biafra ti lọ tán nígbà civil war, wọ́n ti lọ tán, but àwa Yorùbá là jẹ́ kó lọ. Biafra ti lọ pátápátá tó bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé wọ́n ti exit Nàìjíríà, but in tó fi ń sọ pé Yorùbá ló ní ọgbọ́n yẹn ẹ fi tó kù sílẹ̀ fáwọn tí wọ́n ń tọ́jú àwọn leaders wa lókè. Káwa táwa jẹ́ àwa followership wọn, káwa máa jókòó ká máa dúró de that final button. Ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn dàbí Amẹ́ríkà nísìnyí, kò lè pa gidi lọ attack North Korea, wọ́n bí bàbá Amẹ́ríkà dá, wọ́n bí gbogbo tó ń pè l'Amẹ́ríkà structure dá kó lọ attack North Korea. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé button kan ń bẹ lọ́wọ́ ọmọ àlè yẹn, torí ọmọ àlè ni, torí pé inú ilé tí ọmọ àlè bá wà á máa sọ fún wọn pé òun máa bà nǹkan jẹ́. Ọmọ àlè ti wà láàrin wa, àwọn ló ń bà nǹkan jẹ́. So tẹ́ bá wọ́n sọ nísìnyí pé ẹ fẹ́ Yorùbá nation, wọ́n máa bà nǹkan jẹ́ ju bó ṣe dá lọ. Mò ń wo Tinubu, ó wá sẹ́kọ̀ọ́, ẹ wo àwọn tó wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́, àwọn kan ló ń pè ní Ṣàgórì. Ìwọ ń bá ọmọ Ìgbò jà, ìjà tẹ́ ń bá ọmọ Ìgbò jà, ẹ ṣe bá Ṣàgórì jà. Ìgbà tẹ́ ẹ̀ mọ Ṣàgórì, ẹ̀yin rí Ìgbò as our enemy, but ẹ rí Ṣàgórì tó wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ Tinubu as your enemy. When Ṣàgórì fúnra rẹ̀ can be the next governor, ó lè mọ ọmọ ẹ̀ wá láti France kó wá di governor mọ́ yín lórí ní Lagos State, but ẹ rí yẹn. Èyí tó yẹ kí a smell everybody, ká smell wọn, ká má fi kan sílẹ̀ fún kan. Ẹ má mú Ìgbò as pé àwọn nìkan ni enemy. Ẹ jẹ́ ká mú Ìgbò as enemy, ká mú Ṣàgórì as enemy, ká mú Haúsá Fúlàní, ká dẹ̀ mú àwọn Yorùbá tó ń bẹ láàrin wa as enemy, because àwọn yẹn la máa kọ́kọ́ take out. If you are still in this, ò ń bẹ̀rù ọlọ́pàá, o ò tí mọ tó gbé dání. Mo ní lọ́sàn-án yìí, mo ní kò ń ṣe àti lọ Nàìjíríà ní problem àkọ́kọ́ àti yà, but ní Yorùbá ló lọ́gbọ́n. Ọgbọ́n yẹn nísìnyí ó kù tí bàbá àti ọmọdé yẹn mọ ló ń finalize. Ẹ jẹ́ kó finalize ẹ̀tàn délẹ̀. Ẹ lè ṣe sọ kí ló ṣe police station ìwà station yìí, because tẹ́gbọ́n tí bàbá àṣà sọ pé kí Ìgbòho fi ohun yẹn síta, àwọn fẹ́ gbọ́ ohun yẹn. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé tí Ìgbòho bá fi ohun síta, mo sọ fún yín, tí Ìgbòho bá fi ohun síta kò sí ọjọ́ Nàìjíríà mọ́. Calculator tó ní sí orí wọn ti bàbá Akíntóyè, they are 5 ni wọ́n tó wọn lẹ́yìn, àwọn deputy wọn wọ́n wà pẹ̀lú wọn, gbogbo structure wọ́n dúró. Ẹ má fi ọ̀rọ̀ bí fún against Yorùbá nation. Kódà àwọn ṣe báwa ṣe ń push àwọn náà yìí sì ká push so that kí ọ̀rọ̀ tiwọn náà jáde. Let me give an example now. Structure bá wo nísìn, níbo ni Finland bá kéèyàn mọ̀? Because the structure tí gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀mí tó ṣì ń lò ní Nàìjíríà, tá a bá fohùn síta pé gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá látòkè délẹ̀ from Kwara to Lagos State, no company, no organization, no country can use Nigeria láti fi operate lórí ẹwà mọ́. Bí bàbá Akíntóyè bá fi ohun yẹn sáré, ó pè ní any company, any government lórí ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà, that means prayer has happened. But ẹ má jẹ́ kí body wa, mind wa, soul wa change in tó wà lẹ́mìí wa. Kí ni nǹkan tó wà lẹ́mìí 60 people? And that should be where we stand. And we must not be lórí jókòó. And I welcome you once again. The structure is there. to run our government as quickly as possible. The structure is already there, also available. Tí Baba Akintoye bá declare Yoruba nation lálẹ́, structure tó máa gbé ó ti ready, both the diaspora and those at home. But the question I'm asking again is, àwọn wo ni wọ́n fight back so that Nigeria still remain one? Àwọn wo ló fight back? Àwọn tó ń fight back, they are pé kí Nigeria ó continue to 60 million Yoruba people that want the total exit. And we must never be of them. Gbogbo tí Tinubu fi ṣe structure tó náà fi structure lé ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni. Gbogbo Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed ilẹ̀ build structure yẹn. And the structure of the religion. Gbogbo tó fi ṣe gbogbo ni ìtàn pè lé ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá náà ni. And I pity àwọn ọba Yorùbá because Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Tinubu máa fi between the 60 million Yoruba people that are now saying that an independent country la fẹ́, Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu gbogbo ẹni mo fi sọ, ó máa fi tiẹ̀ kó bá gbogbo ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá láti Kwara títí dé Lagos State. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ti sọ pé if we have an independent country and it becomes bloody, the chances that our kings will survive it is very, very limited. People are saying that. I believe that gbogbo àwọn ọba tó ń pẹ́pẹ́nu tó ń ṣe bí ìgbà tó jẹ́ pé ọ̀rọ̀ tá gbé dání kò ní any important. I can only say to them, kó padà sínú chambers wọn, kó accept now that 60 million Yoruba people do not want to be part of Nigeria anymore. I want them to go back, kó padà sínú chambers wọn, nínú àwọn palaces wọn, kó jókòó pẹ̀lú àwọn tó jẹ́ àwọn team wọn, because ọba kankan ní palace kankan lọ́nà àwọn tí wọ́n jọ ń sọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ́ àwọn caucus. Kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí rò pé ǹjẹ́ Baba Akintoye tó ń sọ nísìn pé ká gbéra lẹ̀ àwọn dẹ̀ sì fẹ́ defend Nigeria, kí ni ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ if they refuse to accept the truth and nothing but the truth? Màá tún sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí gbogbo ọba tó ń bẹ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, we plead, ẹ má jẹ́ kí Tinubu kó fi yín sáàárín àwa 60 million Yoruba people against ẹ̀yin ọba wa, because that's exactly what Tinubu is doing right now. Àwọn ọba ń try láti wà on the side of Tinubu than Baba Akintoye. We know that already. Majority of them, bí àwọn few ló bá wà lẹ́yìn Baba Akintoye. But tá bá wo àwọn tó jẹ́ àwọn the major ọba without mentioning their names, tá bá wo list wọn, kò sí kankan tó wà lẹ́yìn Yorùbá nation. But the same set of àwọn ọba yìí, gbogbo wọn ló wà lẹ́yìn Tinubu, because they speak on behalf of Nigeria. Ọba tó bá dẹ̀ ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ on behalf of Nigeria, níbi tí adé tí information ti wà níta nípa ìran Yorùbá, then we remember that these are our number one enemy as well. Àwọn ọba yẹn, they are number one enemies. Tinubu play politics with the lives of 60 million Yoruba people, and we need to stop that now. I gotta challenge Tinubu. I gotta challenge gbogbo structure tí Tinubu ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, so that kí Yorùbá nation lè dúró. Gbogbo tó ń pè ní structure pátá, we must now challenge it, because it's not ready to listen. Gbogbo structure tó ní from Lagos all the way down to Kogi State to Kwara State, we must challenge it with whatever we can. Structure must be breaking to pieces. Tá a bá break gbogbo structure yẹn, Yoruba nation will not come before 2027. And Tinubu will go for election and he will declare himself back as the president with or without the vote. Gbogbo structure ti Tinubu ní pátá, we must start challenging that structure. The challenge in the court, ilé òṣòro court, fẹ́ lọ sí court, ẹ lọ challenge it now. You cannot defeat anything Tinubu in the court. Because structure Nigeria, the structure that we are going to use is the structure where ibi tí Yorùbá ń bẹ tẹ́lẹ̀ before Nigeria la fi challenge Tinubu. And that means we will not accept anything the structure of APC. Gbogbo structure tí APC bá ní pátá ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àti PDP, we must take it out. Because àwọn yẹn gangan ni obstacle yìí going forward into 2027. We can see them. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ kan ṣe video, àwọn politicians, every now and then they're coming out, continue to tell Yoruba people the lies of the same British. This is now the time to confront them. We need to confront them now. And we cannot delay it because tẹ́ ẹ bá confront wọn, kí gbogbo àlọ́ sọ sílẹ̀, election máa ṣẹlẹ̀ in 2027 and nothing is going to happen. So this is the time to go and challenge those structures. Whatever the structure are within Yoruba land, we will not accept that structure anymore. We take it out. We take that structure out because Baba Akintoye ti bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ for 5 years continuously, telling them nothing but the truth. And nothing but the truth in Nigeria is not painful. But they're not going to listen to Baba Akintoye because these are same set of people that still wants to defend Nigeria and protect Nigeria. You know these people. To confront them is to ask them. And if you ask them and they're not ready to back down, we'll let them know that there will be chaos and destruction. Because and if for the structure any political thing in Yoruba land again, Google structure and borrow anything short of that, election will hold Yoruba land again in 2027. Anything short of that, election we go ahead, whether our people vote or not, and that means Yoruba nation will have to wait another 4 years because they will defend it with their own blood, just as they are doing so right now. But we need to go out now and stop this structure because they're going to use that structure to keep Nigeria alive. And they want to keep Nigeria alive. It doesn't matter for how long. And one politicians, Southwest, we need to stop them. We got to stop every single one of them and tell them, we, the Yorubas, are not going in line with your structure anymore. Ethnic privilege in democracy for 26 years. First country for 110 years. That's more than enough any structure and they set the bottom. And that is what we need to do. And we need to do it very fast, without any delay. The longer we delay it, the more Nigeria will continue to break. And the more Nigeria is breaking, the more the lives of our people will still be backwards with the fake identity. We have to be aggressive to get our country. Very, very aggressive. If you are not aggressive to get our country, then what are we going to be aggressive for? Mokimisa Abiodun George, Aluka Adebola Muke, Olariwaju Taiwo, Peter Olade, a very good evening and welcome. Oluwaseun Itunu, Aki Grandma, Aki Fe Sheye, Aki Mokimisa. Please share the program. Yoruba nation is not just on social media. How big is the structure? This is the game. Tinubu hour within the Yoruba nation. We must start preparing even before the announcement of the rally. I know the rally is going to bring the Yoruba nation. I know that. I know that many of you know that as well. Because it's rally will be only Yoruba nation. But the rally back day, and we allow the structure to remain, then the rally will fail and we will not get an independent country. We don't rally back today, we must take down all the structures within Yoruba land as political. It just rally back today, we take down anything. I am not talking about the individual now. There are many structures within Yoruba land. Don't get Nigeria should have invested in our lives. We've got to be aggressive and we've got to take it out. as quick as possible. In case they have more, we can solicit. So when Baba Itoye is talking to the governors and politicians, telling them, Muki Yawako, Pakende Salami, very good evening, Don Boko. Macron, Grill, good evening. Muki Rugija, Plan B, Ogundari, Bubuin Muki, Yoruba Freedom. I know I've not been on, but I can tell you, my spirit, my mind has not left Yoruba Nation yet. Because I know some of you, Tebari Wafunjo Meta, Muki Mr. Adudin Ibrahim, Muki Nibaraba, Muki Lekiti, Muki Umahu prepare for Duty Yoruba. Oro Yoruba Nation, kọjá stage, à ń bẹ̀rù ọlọ́pàá, à ń bẹ̀rù sódà, à ń bẹ̀rù navy, à ń bẹ̀rù government. We must never be scared of all these institutions because these are the structure of Nigeria and they have to go down. If not, we're not going to get this country and we will just lament again next year, in 2 years' time, and Tinubu will come out and do election. We must not give any room after Baba Tijade because I don't know how long the rally will hold before Baba will move to the next stage because I am not privileged to know everything Baba has on the table. So that you do not go out again and start quoting me as many of you have done in the past. I am just giving us what it might take to our country. Having a country, you will not have to wait for the white people that have already destroyed that same identity for 110 years. Britain is not going to back Biafra and Yoruba. These are the two most powerful tribes, indigenous people, that can now bring down the structure of Nigeria. But our paper Iboja, that are the Biafrans, because we don't want them. But there are some Igbos that are still also keeping the same structure of Nigeria. So they blame people, they come. You will blame your own people. You got to blame your people. You cannot continue to blame the Igbos when your own people are still want to keep Nigeria as well. Those are the structure you got to take down. See, Igbo, when the Igbo knows that we are taking down the structure of Nigeria from our own end, Igbo will have to sit back and understand that the structure is gone. Some of the structure are your banking institution. And when we operate in Nigeria for those structure must now, we must start telling them, go to the bank, you go to the Yoruba. Go and start telling them that the Yoruba people want to lead and they must now understand that so that if you do not go and tell Otedola that has the biggest share in the first bank, the first bank in Nigeria will not operate in Yoruba land without anything apart from policies structured to work. One of the powerful tools that they're using is the banking system. That structure must be won. And we give the final warning. The GT Bank must be won. Wema Bank must be won. Access Bank. All the banks all pay whatever the banking structure in Yoruba land. We must now tell them that Yoruba country is coming. And they must start preparing for independent Yoruba country. These are the structures that I'm talking about. Dangote must be given warning that the structure belongs to Yoruba land, not the Fulanis on Yoruba land. The Igbos must also be given the warning. The Hausas, the foreigners that live in Yoruba land, we must start telling them the truth. These are the work that you can do. These are the work that you can also start preparing for. So that we are telling them now. The Yoruba nation, self-determination freedom, we will be exploring intellectual property and economic rights. We will work with countries. Okay, this man 1, 2, 3. But many structures do not want to go out of Yoruba land and they are enriching and losing Nigeria. But port authority will be shut down if we are serious about Yoruba country, but we must warn them ahead Ship got on the dock, so they were, if not, there will be many multiple casualties. The month the Bashmi has said the key ship my dock, so they you do not control the structure. And you can start thinking about many things that I might not know that you know in terms of this structure. We must warn the Nigerian Stock Exchange in Yoruba land that structure is okay, the building is fine, but that structure will no longer run under Nigeria in Yoruba land. There must be one. You must warn the NTA because our land go to the federal government. So the part of Oro Yoruba nation is about just coming out and say the Yoruba nation not going back, and you do not want to attack this structure. Forget it, you are going nowhere. Or you can do one. And there's not going to be any Yoruba country. But I don't want to say there will not be any Yoruba country because I know 60 million are now determined. Today, I'm closing the bank. I have a first bank account. I am ready to sacrifice that first bank so that I can have a Yoruba banking system to operate rather than the first bank. If you are ready for Yoruba nation, we must tell these structures that are operating Yoruba land that the end game is coming for them. We don't have any problem with them operating in Yoruba land, but that structure should not operate as a structure. Last year, because both Tinubu keep the Yoruba banking system to look in Nigeria is operated. Both the politicians banking system on low. That is one of the biggest structures that needs to go down in African country. The more the banking system is still operating, you will not have the kind of money like Tinubu or your average politicians. State to operate Yoruba land that should have been enriched by people for the people, but it's using for Nigeria. We must destroy that structure so that I don't lower you. The moment that I lower state and the rest of the governors, that means they still want you back to remain in that affairs and situation. We must take out that structure. The airport does not belong to anybody, either Yoruba. That structure needs to understand that we want it to operate even during the rally, after the rally. Nobody wants to destroy any airport. But if we are running that airport as a Nigerian airport, while we are still out complaining about the country, and forget it, you are not ready to get a country. Or better, come and solve fact for our country, or come and pepper to abroad. Yes, the airport can still be functioning, but we will not accept anything in Nigeria because new airport here, I can fly like it, but if they go document Yoruba, that's the and I want it to happen during the rally. So much in the airport, don't document Yoruba for all Yoruba need also those states, but we need Nigerian passport. That is the kind of structure I'm talking about. Nobody accepts take out the airport and that airport doesn't happen anymore. We're sending to fly anyway. During the rally, I want you to say you are going to those states. If the airport, I don't do. Any airline that will take me from those states during the rally, we will not use the Nigerian passport. I'm at the airport here, I can fly out. Ghana. Nigerian passport, Nigerian passport. Yoruba document money. Yoruba document, Nigerian passport. But with the Yoruba rally, these are the kind of things we need to start thinking. No. We must be determined and we must be ready for whatever the calamity and the chaos that is going to happen. Because maybe anything short of that, we are ready. And 2027 will happen. It's just 2 years down the line. That structure needs to go. The power needs to go back to the indigenous people from the day that rally. If you're going from Nigeria, from Yoruba land, I am not from the north, open the republic. No custom should be able to stop you. Over crossover. Custom to stop it, we must ask structure we don't know. Say structure Nigeria don't know, and the structure the Yoruba. Anything short of that, we are not ready. Anybody to get cross, we must tell them that we want it to be there. They are not going to attack you. Because they are man brother. The structure we don't know. Directive we don't know. Check directive to federal government. The bank directive to federal government. They are going to not. Or go say Igbo. Ọmọ Igbo tó bá wà ní custom tá bá fẹ́ cross border tó dẹ̀ sọ fún wa pé a lè cross pé a ní Nigerian passport àbí wọ́n dispute ọmọ Yorùbá ni wá then ó jẹ́ pé oyè òpin nìyẹn ó ti gbàgbé pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló ń wá nìyẹn because no player long they open their border nobody knows who is coming from the jail or the Chad everybody has saw the video of the invasion again by the ocean Nigeria no attack but kí ni ìyàtọ̀ Chad àti Nigeria so if you wondering the video that's going on in circulation àwọn ọ̀ṣẹ́ ocean Nigerian army based on your say Nigerian army is a Chad and that means these are the people that will take over your country or your land, rather. But the country can't anywhere. If it was ever a country or Nigeria. So I hope you know the importance and meaning of the country. Every country, we want to do something in the country. And I'm not that people need to tell you so that way. So if you go back to the family, I'm not that day. Who the cross? Who wants to cross the cross because of the money? So I was enforcement. I was actually everyone there. So go stand. The moment we are out of the rally, we must understand that as our country. So go away, I'm going to translate. I'm not going to day, another country, day, because how do I do it? I don't have mission. That's what I believe is going to happen. Because whatever. Because I believe, here I 2 years, 5 years. So we stand there and say, you want to go 60 million people stay where you are. Because we need you to build a structure to deliver. You build that structure. Structure to one of the that structure will have to start. All the one of the federal government, that's what I'm about to do. That is the kind of thing I'm telling you to pray for. Education, what do you move? On your structure, in the end, I okay, when you go to chat, when Mali in Nigeria, as in Mali as chat in Nigeria, these are people determined and they're coming. And they're coming very fast. If we leave them, they will invade your land, they will take your people. And the Nigerian military can no longer protect us. So I understand that we want Baba to come out and give us the go ahead. But if we have any time, she will be to because in Tiba, all of it defeated. Nígbà tó bá wa ṣe gbogbo tó ṣe a fi defeat wọn because Yorùbá ló defeat ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ everyone knows that àwọn wọn mọ̀ àwa lọ́wọ́ lágbàgún yẹn kò ń ṣe Nigeria government àwa náà lè la máa já ogun tì sí àdèmá já àjàyè la máa jà kò dìgbà tí a bá jà tó gbé ìbọn dání. Those structures must go down, especially structure to bá ní òun fi gbọ́ràn. I want us to listen to this. This was 4 years ago. Perchance mo fi bá pàdé. This was Baba Akintoye speaking 4 years ago. Now, bring 4 years back to the front and you realize that gbogbo tí mo ti sọ pẹ̀lú tí Baba Akintoye sọ ní 4 years ago. Baba is still on the right track and is doing everything kí Yorùbá fi kúrò nínú Nigeria, but Tinubu is doing everything to keep us in Nigeria. We have the savior and we have the enemy. Who is our savior? Professor Adébánjọ Akintoye. Who is the enemy? Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yes, we have it very well. Ọ̀tá tí a ní nísìn, òun ni Bọ́lá Tinubu. Olùbàdàn nísìn tí Ọlọ́run fún wa lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn òun ni Baba Akintoye. But Tinubu, for every window you have in love and share, please send it to all the APC group and tell them that that structure will go down. Yeah, we mean it. Structure APC and PDP and Labour Party will not continue in Yoruba land. So these are structures that are holding us back. And they are determined to hold us back until they are satisfied. Neither of them are satisfied. Don't be deceived. Pretend we use your politician until they would never accept the breakup of Nigeria. The barrack with the breakup of Nigeria is not going to come easy. So I think she 3 days fasting. You know that power. The fasting is just to clear the airway for us spiritually to go and do what we need to do. This is the time to face the reality. Yoruba Nation the bill have never performed if you still have the political structure within Yoruba land. How can we have 230 people and only 78 have just thumbs up? It means that we have enemies within. If you are not an enemy to this Yoruba independent country, you will not just watch, you will have shared this broadcast to all your contacts. And you will also do a thumbs up and you will comment. Because that is part of the structure. But if you cannot even do this, how do you then expect us to leave Nigeria out of our land? We are going to chase everything Nigeria away from our land. That is what we're going to do. Gbogbo tó ń jẹ́ Nàìjíríà àfi tó bá accept pé òun ò fẹ́ kúrò because nínú ilẹ̀ yìí lòun ti ń ṣọrọ̀ ajé òun ò lè ready pé kóun lọ òun máa make sure pé gbogbo ń tẹ́ bá ti sọ lòun máa tẹ̀lé. That will remain in Yoruba land. Anything short of that, we must not give them the room. So, Sherry, we must not give them the room to breathe. We would not give them the room to come and breathe. We would keep our eyes, our ears, our nose, and our blood. We will keep it in front of them. Millions of Yoruba people have died because of the negligence of us not doing something quicker before today. And the only enemy that we have today is Bola Tinubu. Bola Ahmed Tinubu from Osun State that claims to be a Yoruba man is the only enemy that Yoruba people have today that doesn't want Yoruba people to have an independent country. And we must take down all the structure. The structure to ban from Bodilon to TVC to anything that we can think of, which is more important. The APC structure in Yoruba land must go down. And that means we must prepare for conflict. Because those that are within that APC in Yoruba land do not know that Tinubu is using them against 60 million Yoruba people for their true identity. Because if it actually more identity, Tinubu nobody knows who is this man called Tinubu. Tani Tinubu Faraya. Who is Bola Tinubu? Can Tinubu give us his full background like I can give you my own full background? That means we will not sit back. We will destroy everything that is the structure of Tinubu according to when Babakitoye tells us to go out. We will not give them any room anymore in Yoruba land. Because that is why you don't even know the identity of Tinubu. Why we want to bring our identity out. Tinubu wants to keep our identity in Nigeria. That must stop before 2027. Anything short of that, and forget Yoruba nation. And I will come back to London and I'll go and do what I have to do. But we are not going to give up, because by doing that, we have now given the room for Nigeria that Tinubu wants to keep alive. Because Tinubu himself cannot guarantee his life tomorrow. But Yoruba land can guarantee that it will still be there as it has been there for 14,000 years. Tinubu, and we will not give him the room anymore. Tinubu dàgbà tó ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, àwọn generation Tinubu dàgbà tó ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, and we don't even know the true identity of Bola Tinubu that will now tell us that he will take us out again into Nigeria 2027. That structure will be destroyed. The structure will be destroyed if they are not going to align with Yoruba nation. Anything short of that, I forget the Yoruba nation. I've got something to do. Going forward now, we will not sit back and allow you, because our more identity will not talk anything away. Our idea, our need to say, our God will come and be what Tinubu, and Tinubu Faraya, because Tinubu call away. How can we sit back and allow this man that nobody knows his true identity to now keep our own true identity again in Nigeria? That must stop. So this family called Tinubu that nobody knows true identity. And Tinubu know family name, Emma Tinubu fit take over. Emma Debi Tinubu, Ti Amo Gangan, Emma Debi fit take over. Emma Tisi be Koiki this way. Emma make sure the army back to Tinubu go forward. To Emma go forward, but going forward we will not allow him. We will shut down the whole system that Tinubu is working in Britain and France. We will not give them room anymore. Okay, well, like I said. Emma Debi Tinubu fit take over. And you tell the family name, because it will be a big disaster. Because the family Tinubu can go into extinction. Because it's going to be bloody. The family name, be very, very careful. because Tinubu máa fi jẹ́ kó bá yín. Tinubu tó guarantee life ẹ̀ títí dàrọ́ la. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá can guarantee their life pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí ó ti exist for thousands of years and it will remain so. So tell Tinubu the game is now already up. Game tó ń play ti tán nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́lẹ̀ sọ pé pátá pé ẹ máa defend Tinubu ẹ̀mí máa bá lọ. Pátá látòkè délẹ̀ lọ́mọ kékeré lábàlágbà ẹ̀mí máa bá lọ. Whoever will defend Tinubu going forward before 2027 so that kílẹ̀ Yorùbá má bàa wá síbi tó ń bọ̀, then prepare that ẹ̀mí náà máa bá lọ. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ yìí la máa fi ta ilẹ̀ lẹ́yìn. You saw how the blood flow yesterday. Gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pátá àtẹni tó lówó àtẹni tó lówó lọ fi pẹran nígbà tí ẹ máa mú láàárọ̀ yìí. Òjò àlùbáríkà ló lọ. Òjò ẹ̀rẹ̀ ṣe kí ni ó fọ gbogbo ẹ̀jẹ̀ yẹn lọ. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ yìí la máa fi fọ gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá mọ́ pátá tí ilẹ̀ bá lè máa mọ́. Òjò á máa gbá gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ sínú ocean. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí Tinubu kó bá yín gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ràn Tinubu. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátá ni mò ń bá sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí Tinubu sọ fún wa pé Nigeria going forward 2027 there will be disaster and chaos across Yoruba land, especially if they defend it. Don't try to defend this enemy of Yoruba land. Ọ̀tá Yorùbá ni kò need more than 4 years to have given us a full independent Yoruba country. But ọ̀tá Yorùbá ni because kò ní identity. Ọ̀tá ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni Tinubu gbogbo ẹnu fi sọ because ìdí tí kò ṣe ní identity náà nìyẹn because tó bá ní identity ni orúkọ bàbá ẹ̀ máa lò títí di wákàtí. Kò lè lórúkọ bàbá ẹ̀ orúkọ tó ń lò yẹn. That is exactly what he wants to do, keep us all 60 million in Yoruba land. Bàbá kí tó yẹ fún àwọn ọmọlé ni kò fi àpọ́nlé kankan rárá, àbùkù ni, alábùkù èèyàn ni. Ọlọ́run ti kẹ́, Ọlọ́run ti fún ní gbogbo tó fẹ́. In tó kù tẹ́ kó ṣe fún ọmọ Yorùbá nísìnyí pé kó fún ọmọ Yorùbá 60 million independent country kó ṣe pé kó tó máa sọ 2027. 2027 will renew Nigeria again and we will not and must not give room for that. If not, your life will remain worst because your identity. Tinubu is the enemy of Yoruba land. And anything that is the enemy of Yoruba land must be taken down. Whatever the structure that they have built, Tinubu accept Yoruba anything short of that, Tinubu must expect chaos that will come to his head. And this is the firepower that we have in our hands. Agbára tó wà lọ́wọ́ wa nísìnyí. Agbára láti break down gbogbo tó ń pè ní Jagaban structure nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Torí ọ̀tá ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ní Tinubu. Tó bá ní the number one enemy lẹ́ni òun ni ó ń confuse àwọn ọ̀gá ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tí wọ́n lè fi gbó sókè. Tinubu ló wà behind it. Òun gangan ní the obstacle tó ń destroy gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ́ni for his own agenda to keep Nigeria for Britain and France and all the criminal European countries. The longer Nigeria is alive, the better for them. Agbọ́dọ̀ your gas, the oxygen rather. Oxygen to Nigeria been breathing, agbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́n yọ. Moving forward, anything short of that. Don't worry about me. Worry about yourself and your family. You don't solve it for you. You should worry about yourself because your identity is no longer yours. Don't worry about me. But I am worried as Baba Kitoye and Igboho and the rest of the team that are working that 60 million Yoruba people must now be free and be free for the rest of their life. We are not fighting Tinubu, but we are telling him. Just as Baba Kitoye told him last month with the letter. We keep Tinubu to lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí o. Pé Jagaban ro lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ro dáadáa. Má jẹ́ kẹ́ni kankan tó jẹ́ foreigner kó tún bí ẹnu mọ́. Ọlọ́run fún ẹ ní ìkẹ́ àti ìgẹ̀. Tọ́ba ní ẹni tó gbádùn jù láyé yìí. Tàbá ti mú Ọbásanjọ́, then we should start talking about Tinubu. MKO did not have that privilege. Ohun Ọlọ́run ló gbé Tinubu síbẹ̀. Kò ń ṣàgbára ẹ̀. But ní dúró pé kí Ọlọ́run wá ṣiṣẹ́, àwa la máa ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn tàbá ti jáde fúnra ní. We'll shut down everything like I said. I've said it all the time. Tẹ̀bá dúró pé Ọlọ́run máa kó sínú Tinubu, Ọlọ́run lè kó sínú Tinubu because àṣetánì èèyàn ni. Torí èṣù, ọmọ èṣù lèmi, a lè gauge Tinubu pé èṣù. But àṣetánì, the devil in him is not going to give you a vanish. If anybody thinks that this evil man, tell you, arákùnrin, in the country. If anybody thinks that Tinubu is going to give a Yoruba country, to twist it. But this man don't pay the ball at Tinubu. Or tell Yoruba because gbogbo structure tí bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ fẹ́ kò fẹ́. Àmọ́ bí tó ti ṣọwà. I am not sure he's a Yoruba man. Tó bá jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá gidi kò sọ̀rọ̀ ìfipá wà láǹsọ̀ mọ́ nísìnyí kí n kàn ìpele nípa tábà gbàdé wa transformation máa dé 6 months lágbàdo àkọ́kọ́ ní káwọn máa gbin àgbàdo àti cassava káwọn ẹ̀tẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ máa jẹun. Àkọ́kọ́ feed ara wa olúkálùkù ayọ̀ ara ẹ̀wọ́n ní good health. Àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí àwa fold shoulder wa olúkálùkù wa bọ́ sí ibi tó fẹ́ bọ́ sí to build the economy of Yoruba land. But for now you cannot be talking about going to build an economy when you have the obstacle don't pay the Tinubu. is the obstacle. And that obstacle, as long as it's still there, lóòótọ́ Ọlọ́run lè ṣe ìyanu kí ni ìyanu tọ́lọ́ lè ṣe kò lè kó sí Ọlọ́run lè kó sí Tinubu lé pé tó máa fún ní country, and you cannot pray for his death now because it will bring Shetima into the power. So ìyanu tó kù ni pé kọ́lọ̀ fún bàbá wa Akíntóyè ní strength at his age, at where he is right now, to go further and do the needful for the 60 million Yoruba people without any more delay. Baba needs to go forward, and Igboho must give him that endorsement so that kí ohun yẹn lè jáde. The two of them are the only one that we are waiting for. Àwọn méjì tá à ń dúró dè náà nìyẹn. Ohun olóyè Igboho àti ohun bàbá Akíntóyè. 60 million people are waiting for them to give their voice out. 60 million Yoruba people are waiting for Igboho and Baba Akíntóyè. Èló ń dá gbogbo dúró nísìnyí. So kàkàkà channel àdúrà wa lọ sí the devil don pè ní Tinubu. Let's channel our energy. Pé kí Baba Akíntóyè àti Igboho kọ́lọ̀ fún wọn ní ìmánì láti fi fún yẹn síta. Kóhun yẹn kó má pè bó ṣe yẹ lọ́wọ́. Because the 60 million will defend Yoruba land with their blood. I will be one of them. That is the only firepower that we are waiting for. The voice of Igboho and Baba Akíntóyè. But the enemies of Nigeria are also pushing to make sure that the voice doesn't come out. Most often before the end of May. I told you all. The enemies doesn't want Baba Akíntóyè and Igboho to release their voice and video. Because if the two of them come out tonight, the now deputies won, and make the announcement that we are all coming out tonight, that is the end of Nigeria. And I understand that many of you that are concerned and worried, but our prayer is let the Spirit and the God of the land guide them to the final stage. Nigeria cannot defeat us. Yoruba land has never been defeated before. In the history of Yoruba people for the last 14,000 years lost, we were defeated. I say no reason why we should be scared, worried, or concerned. And that is why tonight I say, and I thought, nothing must change our mind, body, spirit, and soul. Body, system mind, to body, and stand well, even though I don't have. But this spirit about the law, as long as our spirit is still in this body, everything will stand on independent Yoruba country, and we should be ready to destroy the structure of Nigeria on our territory. This structure of Abono, this structure of Abono, they don't have to destroy it. Leave it as it is. But this structure, who are the structure? Your government, your deputy, your commissioner, your speaker, your house of assembly, your senators. If they refuse to listen to us, then we will destroy that structure that we are talking about in Nigeria. And we'll structure it. And we'll go and talk it delay so that structure will not last. Even if the king cross our line, that structure needs to go. Go back and don't cross line here. That structure needs to go, and that's the end of that era of that structure. Against the structure, I expect to we must be preparing our body and spirit to finish this job. If not, then the country will come. We are wasting our energy and our time. We must confront and tell them now, both in their eyes, against your nation, and so we are independent country. We must now warn you that we will destroy everything. And that is what we should prepare our mind for. But if your mind is still having sympathy with the Nigerian structure, if you country here, it's Nigeria needs to go down so that Yoruba country can be built. You cannot have two drivers riding the vehicle. Nigeria has driven Yoruba indigenous people for too long, and it has not brought anything more than chaos. That will structure to bring Nigeria together. Structure to bring Nigeria to 1914. Although structure. And that is why we are where we are today, after 110 years. Most of our people do not even know the left and the right. So Nigeria needs to be destroyed so that the Yoruba indigenous people can go forward. Let's see for Akitoye and come again. My name is Olayomi Koiki. Share the program, send it to PDP, send it to the Labour Party. INEC is one of the structures in Yoruba land. It will go down. All the INEC offices in Yoruba land, until they accept without converted a Yoruba INEC moving forward, then that structure needs to come down. Those are the structures that keep Nigeria together. Okay, I'm back into me. Let's listen to this and coming back. This video, thank God, Baba, I know the volume is not that loud. I'll see if I can switch it using another device. Let me switch it from here so that voice will come out a little bit louder. This was 4 years ago. I want us to ask ourselves, nothing has changed within our father. Even after 4 years, Baba is still standing on the fact that this is not about restructuring anymore. You cannot restructure Nigeria. These are still enemies. Anybody talking about a restructured Nigeria? They are part of the enemies of the Yoruba people. And just like Akola said, and I quote in one of these videos that we have played a couple of times, it is just too late for restructuring Nigeria. What are you restructuring? This country that has completely finished, this country that has destroyed the image, the Omoluabi of Yoruba people. What are you going to restructure about it? Let me find that video before we go back to Abakitoye. The 1914 amalgamation will no longer have to be renewed going forward. That is the bottom line of all this problem. So we are not here saying that, oh, it's about Nigeria. No, the 1914 is the bottom line. If it's a problem, it's one again. And until we shut down this 1914 amalgamation that has brought nothing more than blood, chaos, the destruction of indigenous people that are called the Yorubas, we must now prepare the final push to the exit of Nigeria out of our land. I'll come back to Babakito again, but I want us to be reminded all the time that the structure holding Nigeria is what we now need to attack, and attack it very well so that it goes down as quickly as possible. We will not give the room so that this structure is still, because this structure, the more we look at this structure, the more it is still a death trap. Let me take it back to what Jonathan said, and I quote, that the only intention of Nigeria today is Britain wants to keep it together, and we must destroy that structure. Whoever the structure is, whatever that structure is, must go down. And this is what Jonathan said there. But it doesn't help us to have a conversation. These criminal politicians use Nigeria's structure, just like Tinubu is doing right now. How long do we need to continue to wait for these criminal politicians? So Jonathan knows that the structure is not working, but he went further and used that structure. This criminal Jonathan, just like criminal Tinubu and the criminal of the governors across Nigeria, they know the fact that this structure is not our structure. But they are quoting Awolowo. They are quoting all these other ones that are the former leaders. To hear him talking nonsense. That is why we need to attack that structure. We will not give that structure a breathing room again in Yoruba land. Then you must prepare for another election in 2027 using the fraudulent structure that Britain knew from the one that it was wrong. Yes, it's not your statement, but you knew that this statement is a fact that Nigeria is not working. It's not a country. Why then did Jonathan did nothing, but he went further to enrich himself and use Nigeria to protect the interest of those criminals that want to keep Nigeria? No. And we have accepted for too long. We must not give the room to accept it again going further. That structure needs to go down. Because structure, Tinubu will finish that structure if we give him the room in 2031 and the structure return back to the north. That's if Tinubu doesn't even die along the line. Toba survive. It's okay. Nobody knows. If Nigeria is not a nation, why are we keeping this bloody country together? You heard Jonathan say that Nigeria is not a nation. So if it's not a nation, let's walk out of Nigeria and keep our land and the people that want to live with us under an independent Yoruba country. But some people want to defend Nigeria and save it. We would have no other choice than to take down structure. I got to take structure down. And this is why we must prepare and ready on the standby. But we must not give in and say, no. You must prepare because that structure, see what they take out. Because these criminal politicians, if we stop that structure to even move around, bridge last one collapse between the northern part coming to the southwest. I think the other bridge never collapsed. Collapse now. Ukraine attacked the bridge in Russia. Russia attacked it. They took out the structure because the more the structure is there, the more Russia would bring weapons and everything to attack Ukraine. Ukraine took a drone and destroyed the 40 bombers of Russia. It's like about 7 billion. So what was the will not destroy that structure? Oh, is it the Iranian on here? Because Ukraine want to go and destroy bomber and Ukraine Russia before time. Then they will have another reason than to be killed. Because Russia was attacking Russia was attacking them as of yesterday. 3 people died. But Ukraine is not giving up. So you think that Russia doesn't know that they can use that bomber to attack. But one time, when Ukraine get drone, all of people attack it. That's what we should also have in our mind. Any structure must go down. You keep saying that and people will not even know that that is going to be the reason why we need to go out of Nigeria quickly. Let everybody have it at the back of your mind. Don't wait for you. You go ahead and do what you need to do to take down that structure, because structure is going to enemy to the Yoruba. That's an enemy. Because after independence of our country and they're going against it, that structure must go down. Today is the 7th June 2025, exactly 2100 hours. You're watching the Koiki Media Live. Bring it closer to your doorsteps. One hour Pakistan is trading our enemies. Take our structure Pakistan. Why is Pakistan still operating in Yoruba land? When we know that they are enemies. Pakistan, any business divided Pakistan will shut down within Yoruba land because of Yoruba land. And the same thing goes with any other countries that are operating in Yoruba land. We can see if we can work with them. Jonathan is telling us lies. Tinubu is telling us lies. Any one of them is telling us lies. Keeping Nigeria together, knowing that there's no unity and nothing is going to work. So if this is a mere geographical expression, why do we want to keep it together? Why not allow it to go their separate way peacefully? But nothing is going to go peace. So if you're one of those expecting peace out of this Yoruba country, you are by peace. With every means. Your service AK-47. Your service AK structure I take it out. Switch in here. Because those structures are there. Everyone knows the structure I'm talking about without elaborating it. Those structures are your enemies. I was privileged in the last couple of days watching many movies, and I realized that each of the movie has reason to watch it. There was a one I was privileged that I remember vividly well. And we suffered for too long. And the time now is for us to say, there's room if they are free for peace. But don't expect peace from your politicians. Let me give you the background of this young man in this movie. I come to another minute. My name is Olayomi Koiki. Please share the program. Every program is very, very important at this stage. Retweet it. Call those that need to hear. Your actors, your artists, can be those structure I'm talking about. The movie producer in Yoruba land can be those structure. These are the enemies that we're also talking about. Anything that goes against an independent Yoruba country is the enemy, because as long as they want Nigeria, they are enemies. It does not matter who they are or what part of Yoruba land they're currently residing. The more they're talking about to keep Nigeria, these are enemies and we need to take them out. If they want to keep Nigeria, let's talk about this movie. So that the reason why these criminals do not want you to have your independent Yoruba country. If you're privileged watching it on the Facebook, you will see the picture. They have it on the Facebook. The name of the movie is Mad Unicorn. Watch it on Netflix. I recommend it.